Well, good morning, everybody. It's Gord here, along with our favorite YouTuber, Flat Kylidge, and we got him all fixed up again. He was hanging out in behind the seat of the service truck, and I had to do some reconstructive surgery on him. I had to reattach his arm with the staple gun, and got him back fixed. I found him a new coat, the coat that Flat Kylidge was previously wearing. The 3D Kylidge figured he needed to wear that one time he was home, so he undressed him, and that might have been where the arm mishap occurred. But anyway, I'm going to try to take you around a little bit today and do a segment with Flat Kai and show you some of the things that have been going on in the past week. It's been a busy one with calving, well underway now. Our calving actually is, I think Kylidge mentioned in an earlier video, it started early for us. We bought a small herd of 20 cows from a lady, and she indicated that these cows were to calve starting April 1st, which is when our herd is. And I mean, that was a lot of the reason why we bought them, that they fit in with our herd calving time. Well, it ended up the first calf arrived March 2nd, followed by March 5th. And at that time, I kind of contacted her, just, did a neighbor's bull jump in, or what might have happened here? And she acted surprised that they had calved that soon. The night before last, we had a busy night. We had 4 cows calved during the night, and one of those was number 14 of 20 that have calved in the month of March. So it's ended up being a lot of extra work. Contacting her didn't change anything. It just kind of, I don't know why I did it, peace of mind, I guess, whatever. But anyway, just suck it up, and we got busy, and we checked the herd more often. That Friday night blizzard we had a couple weeks ago, of course, blizzards seemed to bring on calving. 2 of the cows, 2 of that group decided to calve that night. We saved the one, brought it in the porch. I had the blow dryer going on him and warmed him up, but the other one unfortunately didn't make it, so we lost one there in that group, in that kind of the storm there. But that happens, and we move on from that. Anyway, so now our main herd has started calving this week. I think we've got 6 or 7 have calved so far out of our main group, so we're well into it. And so I'll try to show you some of the things that have gone on, some good, some bad, but it's all part of it. So we'll be back with you in a little bit. So we're here in the barn now. There's a couple calves laying in here now. One of that pair down there, the red baldy pair, it's a Hereford marking calf. I brought her in the other night at midnight. I think that was Thursday night. And she ended up, out of this whole great big pen with lots of room, she ended up coming over here to where this panel is at the end. And she must have calved right at that panel, and the calf slid under the panel. So in the morning, I heard a clang and a clunk and this ladder, and there's a wheelbarrow and some old motors and stuff. This here, I don't know if you ever seen this creative invention out of a tote. I made a cat house last fall, and it's got a heated pet bed mat in the bottom. Anyway, the calf was back here, of course, on this snow that has sifted through our door that needs to be rebuilt, and there will be a new door one day here, don't worry. But anyway, so that was our first wreck of the morning, and ended up having to fish him out, and he actually walked on his own steam all the way down the alley and back in with the cow. So anyway, they're hanging out in here. They can go out. I wish they would. They'd do better out in the sun. I might encourage them to go out a little later. But anyway, over here now, this next image might be graphic to some, but it's all part of what happens. So this is our heifer 62J. Now she's got a little background. On Saturday afternoon, I was heading into Bethune to go volunteer at our annual sports gala event. I was bartending there, volunteering, and as you can see now that she's turned. So anyway, back to that story. She was tipped over as I was going into town. I looked over at the pasture, and here she was tipped over. She got herself in a little wall, and her feet were up in the air. So me and Leighton got her righted with the toe strap and the quad. We got her flipped over, and back up she jumped on her feet right away, which was good, because sometimes they don't last long. Fluids get where fluids don't belong. So yesterday she decided to go way out east in our pasture lay down on the snowbank. She was going to start the calf out there, but as you can tell, that didn't really go well. I brought her into the barn, and a few hours later there was no progress, so she ended up having a cesarean to this big whopper of a Hereford calf. And this is the first of about 5 that were bred to that Hereford, so be anxious to see how the other 4 make out. Hopefully not where this ends up, but at least we have a live calf out of it. That's a good thing. You might hear a cow bawling in the back. She actually had her calf a couple nights, Thursday night again, about midnight I saw it, and it was up and sucking. And by yesterday morning, 6 o'clock, the calf was stretched out. We tried warming it up and reviving it, but it ended up dying. So there she is there. She's still looking for her calf. We'll see if we can find her one. So anyway, yeah, it's a little update of a couple things that happened just basically yesterday, I guess. So I'm just out here in our newborn pen that we've created. We had to set up some panels. We're kind of not really set up for winter calving and that. It's just too much snow. We're waiting for spring to come, as is everybody around this area. You know, we got lots of snow out there, and I just don't want to kick them calves out into the pasture where we normally just let them calve out in. As long as things are going well, that calf is up and all is well. We just leave them be out there usually, but we've had to adapt. And so anyway, I was just out here. I don't have flat Kylidge with me. It's tough to hold him, and I've been catching up on tagging calves and updating our calf book app that we have on our phones. Leighton and Kylidge have that app on their phones. It's all synced and linked, so Kylidge should be able to view that up in Saskatoon where he is. And we also keep a paper book, a little book also, and that's handy also. But sometimes you're in pasture, you might be on the quad or in the truck, and it's like, oh, the book's in the other truck. So at least with the phone you can look and see, okay, well, who does that calf belong to, or you know, why, or whatever reason you might want to know who belongs to who. It's just kind of nice to have the app on the phone as well as the paper book. So anyway, just kind of catching up, and yes, I know my bale feeder's empty, and I'm going to rectify that next. I will show you something in the shop that has to do with bringing out bales, but anyway, we'll catch up with you in a few minutes, and maybe we'll have Flat Kai with us. So we brought Flat Kai back in here, and so a couple years ago, back in January of, I guess it'd be January of 2021, we had to get a new front rim for our front wheel assist tractor here, and we ended up, a Case one from Case was a lot of money, so I ended up going with a custom rim made by Rimex out of Saskatoon, and it was like, oh, I don't know, like about a quarter of the price, and it's a one-piece rim, and very heavy, very well built, and I've sold a few more through work since then and have used my rim. I've let guys go and look at my tractor. Here you see it's a two-piece. It's got that hub with the lugs that bolt on. So anyway, now this rim is now cracking out here. So this is affecting our feeding ability here for the next little bit. I've been using the bale processor. Now the downside is the bales are kind of frozen in, and we end up having to dig them out because the bale processor just can't pick them up. The ice is too hard, and the forks just ride up like skis. So as you can see, this tire has seen a lot of wear. It does a lot of highway hauling of bales down Highway 354, and that's tough on tires. So we decided when we get the new rim, we've got a brand new tire ready to be put on, and it matches the other side. So anyway, that's our little dilemma there. So we're out now in the pasture, and we're filling bale feeders with the tractor, with the broken rim. I know, we're living on the edge here. We're trying to salvage that tube. We're going to try to reuse it. And worst case scenario, if it blows out, well, I guess I need to buy a tube. Now, we're not down and out. We got the old 2090 with the front end loader. We could use it. However, it currently needs that PTO housing replaced, and a lot of the hydraulic oil's leaked out of it. And so we're hoping to do that repair soon. And I don't know, kind of on the fence of whether I want to buy more hydraulic oil to get us through this predicament with the rim. So I'm just kind of taking a chance, doing one bale at a time, going slower, trying not to bounce over ruts. But you know, I don't know, kind of sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get the job done. And all the feeders are empty. I processed 8 bales Thursday night, I guess it was, and they're all gone out here now. So cows are, you know, they're not starving by any means. They are picking around at the stuff that's been processed. But just gonna try to fill a few feeders, buy me some time, and we'll get back to seeing what else we can do. So I just thought I'd point out here, it was probably a couple weeks ago now, a week and a half, I pushed all the snow around this calf shelter in anticipation that it would help the melting, which I mean it still will, whenever the snow does decide to melt, that we could get some straw put around that, and these newborn calves could hang out there, and also encourage the cows to maybe lay down on that fresh straw close to the shelter. So hopefully when spring comes, we can get to using that. Well, it's about 12:30 now, and we got the feeders filled and moved over here at our newborn pen, and I've got the heifer and calf that calved overnight. I got her moved up in here, and I've got all the tagging caught up. Even caught those couple last ones there. The mamas wanted to eat me. I kind of, through manipulating some gates and tricking the odd cow into going one way or the other, I got things so that I could get the last couple ones tagged. So I'm all caught up on my tagging. So now I'm going to head out. So far I put 6 bales out for the main cow herd, and I'm headed out to cut twines on them. So I don't know if you can hear me over, I guess I could shut the quad off, but we're out here checking cows. It's about 10:30 at night. We just got back from Moose Jaw from watching Moose Jaw Warriors beat the Lethbridge Hurricanes in Game 2 out of the best of 7 series. They went into double overtime last night to win with 17 seconds left in the second overtime period. So they were winning that series 2 games now out of 7 so far. So anyway, we're just out here checking the main herd. They're mainly by the feeders here, just a little to the south from where we have the feeders now, basically where the feeders were last week. We move them every week, of course, to manage our manure. So just before we left for Moose Jaw, we put one of Leighton's cows in, his youngest cow. She's a second calver, and put her in the barn, and she is now calved. So he's off to start. I think he's got 4 or so cows, I think. Anyway, I thought I'd bring you out here since you're out here. And I don't know if you can see off in the distance there, that light straight ahead. That's a solar light we bought. Neighbor friend thought he's got some at his, there the quad flooded itself basically. So anyway, a neighbor thought that I needed this solar light, and so we put it up on a pole, and it's just kind of not the light that I thought it would be. It kind of is too dim for the area, and it ends up kind of, when you need it on, like it goes by movement, so if something moves under it, it comes on, and then after a while it goes off, and about what time it goes off is when you really needed it on. So anyway, back over there is the barn and the main yard light. Anyway, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Well, good morning everybody, it's Gord and Fat Kai again, and today it is Sunday, April 2nd, and so yesterday we had a beautiful day of melting. Spring was finally here. There's a lot of water running everywhere, but today it's a different story. I went out to check cows about 6:15 this morning, and there was a new Hereford calf, been only about an hour old or so. It was starting to get, was up and trying to suck, and cow was eating its afterbirth and that. So anyway, it was just starting to lightly snow at that time, so I made the decision to go get this new fancy calf sleigh we got there. I think I saw it on Straight Pipes video earlier. So we bought one ourselves and put it to good use this morning and brought that pair into the barn. And anyway, we're out here now filling feeders. Leighton's cutting twines, and as you can see, the ground is white again, unfortunately. Like white, and forecast says it's supposed to snow showers all day. I don't know what a snow shower is. I guess it's like a snow flurry, but just a shower. I don't know what that is. So anyway, that's what we're up to this morning so far. Talk to you later. Leighton and I ganged up, and we got all fresh straw in the barn here. We got pens 1 all ready to go here, ready for the next round of gong shows. Pen 3, pen 4, and 5, and 6 can be made up there. That panel's just hanging out to make the big area bigger. So yeah, we ganged up, and we just pulled up with the processor to the door there and opened the deflector and let her buck through the door. She shot all the way to the other end there, down by the yellow sleigh. I was surprised. Even got up into our fancy new lights. Thank goodness it didn't wreck them. Well, it's now getting on towards the end of the day, and we are in 2096 with the bale processor, and we're spreading out some straw. It's now, the snow has turned to kind of a light mist. There's a light mist freezing onto the windows of the tractor, so that'll make for an interesting drive tomorrow morning to work. So I bedded the big pen for the cows to lay on, and I'm going to move the cows with the newborn calves into a couple other pens to keep all the calves safe while I bed down that pen and give them some nice fresh dry straw to lay on for the night. I know it might not last if it keeps snowing, but straw to me is our best defense in these conditions, in these wet, snowy conditions, to keep those calves dry. So I'm going to move everybody up into a couple pens. I know it's going to be a circus, it's going to be like herding cats with the cows that they're just going to want to, always going to want to turn back to their calves, and the calves don't know where they're going. And so anyway, we're going to wrap things up. Want to give a shout out to Dr. Terry Goslin from Peak Veterinary and his assistant Teresa, I think her name was. She was a vet tech, for coming out the other day to help us do that C-section. I know there was some discussion between me and Andrea about, you know, well, what will it cost for them to come out, and I'm like, well, by the time I empty all the stuff out of the box of my truck, I had some tractor tire and things in there, and put the gooseneck ball in, hook up the stock trailer, and plug the compressor in while you're doing all that, because the stock trailer has a flat. Put air in the flat tire of the stock trailer, and we gotta rig up some kind of a loading chute, because our chute is snowed under still. It hasn't melted, so by the time I carry in some panels and hook everything up, get her loaded, well, it looks to me like there's about 45 minutes shot, and time was not on our side. So anyway, shout out to him for being in the area and coming out and doing that right here on the farm in our squeeze. Saved a calf, and she looks good. The cow's over here, I think. There she is. You can see her. And anyway, another little shout out to those U of S agro friends of Kylidge's. They've been really great to him. There's been Dakota and Danielle and Kiana, I think, is a few names I hear. They put on a little going away party surprise for Kylidge here a couple weeks ago. And I know the ladies organize it. There's no way that Owen and Luke and Ryan organize that. Like, come on, guys. Like, guys organize something like that. There's no way. That was all girls organized it. You guys just appeared and showed up. You might have contributed here and there. I don't really know all the details. But anyway, thanks for doing that for Kylidge. That was awesome. Keep in touch. I know we'll see you down the road, maybe Agribition Week or somewhere like that. Come on and say hi. But anyway, I think we're going to wrap this up. And we'll maybe see you down the road. So we'll catch you later, everybody. Have a good week. Hopefully Mother Nature smartens up soon.